we're checking out the wireless pack from NUX. This is the B-5RC 2.4 gigahertz wireless system for guitar and also bass. Let's take a look. Welcome back, guys. This is Shane. Today we're checking out this NUX guitar wireless pack. This runs on the 2.4 gigahertz band. Let's take a look. Here's the case that we get with the unit. Now, if we take a look at this side, as you can see, there's a little button over here. If we push this, it will tell us how much charge is left in the actual case. So that's not the units, that's the case charge. I think that's great. And you power or charge the case using this micro USB slot here. You also get the cable provided as well to do that. So let's open this up. Now, as you can see, we've got both of them currently charging via the actual case. I use these just off camera a little bit just to sort of show you how they work. Once they're charged, these red lights will go off. I think that's really cool. Now we get two different modes on these as well. You can just simply pull them out that way. That's what the case looks like without them in there. Now if we take a look at the transmitter, we can turn both of these on using these side buttons. So I'm going to just do that to show you how that works. Once they're green, you're good to go. How easy is that? So on the transmitter, if you hit it again, the button, it will turn orange and that is your mute signal. If you hit it again, it will go green and you'll be good to go. So if you want to change guitars, hit this button, pull it out, plonk it in the next guitar, turn it back on. That's it, nice and simple. Here's something that might interest you if you're a big fan of what a really long cable can do to your guitar tone, kind of mellowing out the top end due to that impedance. Green is regular mode, so no loss. If you hit this button once under here and it turns orange, it basically replicates that of a 21-foot or 6-meter guitar cable, which kind of attenuates the top end to some extent, and we'll test that in the video. Firstly, let's see if it fits on my standard Mexican Stratocaster. Yep, absolutely, and it feels pretty secure in there as well. That's not going to go anywhere. That actually feels really great. You could, of course, flip it up this way if you wanted to. But for my money, I would just leave it flipped down like that. It doesn't feel like it's going to move at all. That's really stable. I like it. If you've seen any of my other wireless pack reviews, you know that a Les Paul is probably the hardest guitar to get one of these wireless packs to work on. One of the main reasons is that not only is the connection under the guitar, but one of the big problems is a lot of them don't sit flush against the body of the guitar. They stop about there. This one, if you so wanted to, you can run some double-sided tape and you could get it to sit there. Or you could also get it to sit there. Without any tape, it's still in place fine. I still think it's probably going to move a little bit if I shake the guitar, but it actually looks like it's way better in place than some of the others that I've had a chance to test. You know, like I said, a little bit of double-sided tape like that, and you should be good to go. And now let's check out whether or not it works well in a front-mounted guitar, whether or not you're playing an ES335 or a Flying V. Let's plug it in. Absolutely, that's not going to move anywhere. So a Les Paul or a PRS, you still might get some movement. Any of these front-mounted guitars, that just feels nice and steady. It's also dependent on the quality of the jack. I should also point that out, but being that I've got so many different guitars here at the house, and I've tested so many of these units, that kind of stability there in the front mount is actually really, really good. So I would have no hesitations using this on either this Flying V, just based on how secure it already feels, or on something like a 335. In terms of the digital transmission, it operates on the 2.4 gigahertz band. It's pretty common these days for these kind of units. We get 24-bit, 44.1 kilohertz audio quality, so nice and clear, because you're not going to have any problems with that, or it won't actually sound any different to that of a great cable. So that's cool. We get low latency as well. It says less than 5 milliseconds. That's the response time between when you play and when you hear it back, the time it takes to get to the receiver. That's really cool too. We got auto sleep mode as well, which is good, so you won't just leave them on and just forget that they're on and then drain the battery. So that's a really cool feature. Now, we get a runtime of approximately 3.5 hours per charge, which is great. Now, the little case that you get with it is also a charger as well. And you get up to 3 additional chargers with just the power that can be stored in the case. How great is that? You don't necessarily just have to grab each individual unit and hook them up to charge them, although you can do that as well. So I think that's really cool. In terms of just the weight of these units, they come in at 68 grams, which is very, very light. All right, let's get into it with the indoor test. I'm playing my Fender Mexican Standard Stratocaster. This is all stock. We're gonna start on bridge and middle pickup. And we're going into the Fender Blues Deluxe Reissue amplifier. I got it mic'd up with an E906 from Sennheiser and also an SM57. Now this is on the green mode on the receiver, so just regular tone test first, and then we'll try the orange mode. This is bridge and middle. So there you have it. It works fine, no problems there at all. So let's try it now on the other mode, which is the orange mode, by tapping the button once. And this emulates that of a much longer cable, which sort of attenuates the top end a little bit. So let's try this. I can actually hear a difference in the room. Hopefully you can hear that on the recording. I'll just go back to it in green mode, which is allowing basically all the high end to come through. Here we go. Let's see how well it responds with the volume control down. This is one of those tests I like to do with wireless packs because sometimes they cut out a little too quickly. So this is with it all the way up. About half. About number 2 on the dial. It's working fine. And just up from off. That just up from off is what doesn't work on a lot of wireless packs. That's pretty cool. Alright, over to the jungle test. Alright, I'm really backlit right now, but what we're going to test out is whether or not we can get this wireless pack to work all the way out back down there. I've got the Boss Next Tone amplifier mic'd up with my little Zoom recorder for this particular test, so it won't be as professionally mic'd up as what you just heard. So let's go back there and check it out. So there you have it, that's the outdoor and indoor test. So what do I think about it outdoors? It's still not 100% perfect. Nearly all of them that I've tested outside have glitched slightly, and I don't know if that's just because the signal's traveling in all directions and it's a little less focused than it is indoors. But when I tested it indoors, even without line of sight, it worked through the walls. So that's cool. That works great indoors, which means it should work flawlessly at a gig or something where you're indoors. If you're doing an outdoor festival, you might experience a little bit of dropout, much like you heard outside. It's not uncommon, and I would also opt to use these line of sight. Now that's not something that technically would need to happen with 2.4 gigahertz, but it's something that I've noticed that seems to work better. I've tested so many handheld wireless microphones and all that kind of stuff, and they always work better when you can actually see the receiver for whatever reason. So just keep that in mind. It's my personal experience. It might not be the technical reason why it's working, but I've always felt like any wireless pack works best when you can actually physically see the receiver. So outdoors it worked. It did glitch a little bit. Indoors, even through walls, no problems at all. Would I test this to take out, or would I trust this to take it out to a jam night or a gig, absolutely. I think it worked really well, and I love the fact it's as stable in there as it is. I also love the fact that you can charge it via the case that it comes with. I really like that. It means everything's enclosed in a little package and it's just tidy. It's a tidy, simple setup that works. So a massive thanks to the guys from NUX for sending this out. If you want to find out more about it, I'll leave some links in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you soon. See ya.